This is how to make a bouldering bucket. This is the design I'm going to be using. It has a pocket on the front and a brush rod on the back. This document can be found in the description and it has all the information about the dimensions and the sewing pattern, so go check it out. These are the materials you're going to need. About 43 by 86 centimeters of a durable outer material and about 120 by 27 centimeters of a soft inner material. I'm using the same curtain material for both the inner and outer, as it has a durable face and a nice soft face. I got all the materials in this video secondhand and I suggest you try and do the same. You could use an old pair of jeans for the outer and a fleece for the inner if you want. Some added extras you're going to need are about 38 centimeters of Velcro and about 30 centimeters of a material to make some pull tabs with. I'm using some webbing that I found while I was out on a walk, but you could use just about anything for this. Some equipment you'll need are some fabric scissors, thread snips, some thread that matches your materials, some pins, rulers for measuring up the pattern, chalk, a tape measure, and anything else you might need for sewing. I'm going to be using a sewing machine. I think you could do this by hand, but a sewing machine just speeds things up and makes it a lot easier. Also make sure you have an iron on hand, makes everything a lot neater and the process go a lot smoother. Now we're going to start drawing up and cutting out the panels for the bag. Follow the dimensions on the sewing pattern document for this process. I'm drawing the pattern straight onto the fabric. Alternatively, you could draw onto a piece of paper first and then pin that onto your fabric. For panels that you need multiple of, you can fold the fabric over and pin the shapes down so you only have to cut each shape once. Once you have everything marked out and pinned down, you can start cutting it all out. Whoa, look at that! Just a couple general tips for fabric cutting. Try not to overcut your lines so you might be able to use that fabric again in the future. And also don't worry if the edges are a little bit raggedy, they're all going to be hidden on the inside of the bag. Now it's time to start sewing! We're going to start by constructing the inner bag, so put aside the other panels for now. First, pin both side panels to either the front or back panel, making sure you're pinning with right sides facing and the raw edges aligned. Sew both these seams at 1 cm, securing with a back stitch at each end. Press these seams open and repeat the process with the other front or back panel. Now you should have a sort of tube of material like the one on the table. As you can see, this was filmed on a different day and I already have a finished bag. That's because some of the files corrupted while I was filming, so I had to reshoot it. So if you notice there's any differences between the materials I use from here on out compared to those I showed at the start, that's why. Now we're going to pin the floor onto all sides of the bag and sew these seams at 1 cm again. While sewing, be careful around the corners to not leave any gaps where chalk might escape. Trim excess fabric off the corners and press these seams open. Now you have a finished inner bag. Next we're going to move on to attaching the pocket to the front. For this you're going to need your outer front panel, your pocket panel, 6 cm of Velcro and 1 pull tab. We're going to start by pressing the pocket panel. Press the top edge down at 1 cm and then fold it back up into the crease and press it again. You should be left with about a 5 mm folded edge. Pin this edge down and also pin one of the pull tabs underneath the folded edge right in the middle of the panel. Pin stitch along the bottom edge of the fold and take care when sewing over the pull tab. Stick Velcro to the center of the pocket panel and use this to line up the Velcro on the outer front. If you're not using adhesive Velcro, measure where the center is and pin stitch along the edges of the Velcro. Line up the edges of the two panels and pin them together before basting around the side and bottom. This stitch doesn't need to be strong as it's going to be secured when we construct the outer bag. Hey look, now you've got a pocket! Next we're going to make the brush holder. For this you need the brush holder panel and the outer back panel. We're going to start by pressing, pinning and sewing all 4 sides of the brush holder panel in the same way we did the top side of the pocket panel. Now pin both sides of the brush holder panel to the outer back panel with about 14 cm between them. Here I'd recommend going and getting your favourite climbing brushes and pinning the panel in such a way that it creates 3 loops that fit your brushes. Sew along each line of pins, as well as pin stitching the edges of the brush holder panel. This is how it should look when you're finished. Now that the front and back are ready, we can start constructing the outer bag. Do this using the same instructions as for the inner bag. Now that you have both your inner and outer bag completed, we're going to attach them together and put on the finishings. First, put the outer bag inside the inner bag with the wrong sides facing. Ensure that the seams and corners align. Press down the top seam allowance at 1 cm before folding and pressing down the top edge to form a 4 cm band. Pin and pin stitch the bottom edge of this band before sticking on the Velcro. Secure the remaining pull tabs to the center of each side with a small line of stitching before doing one final pin stitch around the top edge of the band. And there you have it. So here is the finished chalk bag. Let me know what you think about it, let me know what you think about this video. I have enough material to make a couple more, or a bunch more actually, so if you're interested, let me know. But I'd really love to see if anyone uses this design and makes their own. If you do, send me a photo on Instagram or comment that you have down below. If you have any questions about this video, comment them down below as well and I'll try and answer them. Make sure to check out the pattern document in the description below. And that's about it. On another note, this session here was the first time I had climbed on plastic holds in about 8 months, and it was really fun. Pulling on plastic is so much fun. So I hope everyone else out there is enjoying climbing, and have a good day. Thanks for watching.